Hi, welcome to my off-grid cabin. If you're new here, this channel is all about taking a typical Amish-made storage shed and turning it into an off-grid cabin. On today's episode, we're adding solar to the off-grid cabin. When I first built the cabin, I always intended to have some sort of power source or system. Being off-grid doesn't mean that you need to go without power. But obviously I don't have the ability to hook up to the grid or electric lines, so solar is my only choice. So I opted to purchase my products from Renogy Solar. And the reason I did that is not because they are the cheapest, because you can probably find components similar for cheaper, but the reason I liked Renogy is because of the customer service, the tutorials on their webpage, their willingness to work with the consumer to get just the right system for them. My system only consists of a couple of components: a deep cycle or marine battery, a charge controller, a solar panel, and an inverter. And of just those simple components, you can provide your own electricity to at least power a small off-grid cabin, off-grid tiny home, deer shack, fish house, something like that. Now, granted, I'm not running full-time electronics, and I really have a low wattage need. Really, all I want to be able to do is charge my phones, charge my computer, my camera batteries, maybe run a small 12-volt or dorm-style fridge, and have a microwave once in a while if I want. And of course, along with lights. So today I'm going to be putting in just a very simple basic solar system, and we're going to try it out and see if we can't pull some free electricity from Mod Nature. Well, that should be enough to at least get to where I need to be. The hole drilled from in to out. I drilled it just a little bit bigger because eventually when spring comes and it's thawed, I'm going to run a ground cable out through here too, so I can have an earth ground. Now, normally when I think of an earth ground, I think of like probably about a 8-gauge bare copper wire, but the directions for the inverter specifically said 10-gauge stranded wire. So that's what I'm going to do. Gonna set this back in here for now, so I have some more work to do on this. Thank God for trim, that's all I can say. Oh, what a mess. Well, I did find out that the reason the one outlet wasn't energized is because it was on a different circuit than I expected, so I should be fine on that one. Alright, so these are my panels in from the solar panels. These will go to the charge controller, and then I have to bring my battery cables up to the charge controller, so these will go out to the solar panels. So now I'm going to do my hookups from my battery to my charge controller. And the one thing I don't like about Renogy is I wish they had color-coded cables. So I just added an extra flag of black on here for the negative. And that way, once the battery's all sealed up, I can still tell which end is negative and which one is positive. I also was going to hook up my inverter at the same time, but I forgot that I had these big lugs on here, and these are not what I want to use on here. I just want a couple of blades, and I don't plan to hook up the 110 power today anyway, just because I still need to work on that short and track that down. So for today, I'm just going to go ahead and hook it up so that my 12 volt system and my battery is charging through solar. What I like about this marine battery is it has built-in fuses and built-in battery indicator as well. So underneath the charge controller, each of these terminals is labeled underneath. Your two panel inlets, and then you have your battery, and then you have load. So we're not going to use load today because that would be if you were going to, let's say you're going to run your inverter instead of with the plug-in, instead of the 12 volt plug, maybe you wanted to hardwire it to like a circuit panel. I think you could use that. I think that's what that's for. Don't quote me on that. But all right, so this is the positive battery. So we're going to go ahead and find that. And it's a good thing that I marked my panel lead or my terminal leads, because obviously without it we don't know. So I put the extra flag on this one so I know that's the negative. So then therefore this must be the positive. So we're going to go ahead and put this in there. I'm just going to double check twice so I don't. I'm dealing with a 125 amp hour battery, so I do not want to short circuit it. The big thing to remember about hooking this up is you always want to hook your battery to your charge controller first. Do not hook your panels to this. Not sure why that didn't do anything. Maybe I didn't have it out all the way. Anyway, you cannot put panel power into this without having your battery hooked up. I don't know why. Clearly it has to do with, oh, that there it sunk in. First time it didn't feel like it was seated, so yeah, that's solid. That is solid. And then that must mean the big flag is our negative. That one's clicked in, and we have power to the panel. All right. Like, this is so easy. I mean, literally, if all you're going to do is hook up your 12 volt battery, this is really just a no-brainer. Like, honestly, if I would have had my work site prepped, this would literally be probably a half hour to hook this up. Actually, if the work site was prepped, probably 15 minutes. All right, so there we go. We got power. That's a good sign. Now we got to go hook up these panels and get brackets made for them. I know that this is a really rough frame, but it's like 2 degrees out. It's cold, and all I need right now is just something to keep the panels off the ground and keep from getting blown over. So I'm just going to try to wing this together and see how it goes. I'm gonna put another cross brace in, but the idea is I will be able to tripod it or swing the adjustable back leg so that I can tilt it. But again, this is just temporary because this is going to go on top of the tool shed. The reason it's right here right now is I don't have enough cords, so I need to buy an extension. So it's just going to have to be here for now, and we're just going to go from there. So, all right, I'm going to quick grab another cross brace, and I'll be right back. All right, well, that's not going to go anywhere. Okay, now let's get the splitters and let's hook that up. All right, well, that's pretty simple. There's really only one way to hook those up. And we have power. Not much, but it's showing that it is charging. We officially have solar, 12 volt. Now the next time I come up, I'll have the 110 inverter, and that way I will be able to energize my outlets and run, hopefully, eventually, like a microwave and stuff like that. All right, everybody. Well, it's super cold. I have a lot of packing to do. I'm going to hit the road, but thanks for watching the video. Leave a comment down below if you have any questions. And one of these next videos, I'm going to play 20 questions and answer all of the things that you guys want to know. Take care, and we'll see you soon.